Axel was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He wanted to say more, but Bella glared at him, so he shut his mouth. What? I'm going to beat that bastard on your behalf. Steven was angry and wanted to settle the score with Justin, but Bella stopped him. Forget it. You can't beat him. He used to be in the peacekeeping army, so you'll just become his punching bag. Besides, he didn't mean to dislocate my shoulder. He's just careless and doesn't know how to control his strength. He's always been like this. Bella, why does it sound like you have known him for a long time? Bella was stunned for a moment. She pursed her red lips and said nothing. Steven still did not know about her relationship with Justin. She did not mean to hide it on purpose, but she was just too lazy to explain herself. It was in the past anyway, and she did not plan to get back together with Justin. Back at the villa, Axel made coffee for Bella while scolding Justin for being a jinx. I'm sorry, Axel. Bella's long eyelashes trembled guiltily. Huh, why are you apologizing to me? Axel was surprised and raised his hand to touch his sister's forehead. Do you have a fever? What nonsense are you spouting now? Ads by Pub Future. No, I just felt sorry for using you to keep my secret. Since Asher is on a business trip in Inalia, I can only ask you for help. I'm afraid that you think I'm treating you as a prop. Bella's voice became softer as she spoke. Silly girl, what are you talking about? Axel felt distressed and came over to hug Bella. He avoided her injured arm and pulled her slender body to his chest. Mom gave birth to the four of us before you so that we could protect you. The next time you get married, the four of us will also accompany you. After saying this, Axel felt that it was not right to assume this and quickly added, even if you never get married, we will still be at your beck and call. We'll protect you and be your backers for the rest of your life. Bella's lips twitched as she thought, accompany me when I get married. Then I might as well be a nun. Justin's mood was affected because he had injured Bella. He could not concentrate on his meetings all afternoon and did not listen to the reports by the senior executives. His lips were bruised, and his face was gloomy. However, no one dared to ask him what happened. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. Although Justin was Gregory's illegitimate son, everyone in the Salvador Corporation respected him. Gregory's eldest son from his first wife was frail and had been recuperating in Regaton. His illness had worsened in recent years, and he had to rely on someone to push him around in a wheelchair. Gregory's second wife, Shannon, gave birth to 2 daughters. Her eldest daughter was 25 years old, and her second daughter was 20 years old. None of her daughters were capable enough to be the heirs of the Salvador Corporation. Therefore, Justin was the only successor to the Salvador Corporation. He was outstanding and commanding, so those who initially opposed his succession dared not go against it anymore. Ads by Pub Future. Mr. Salvador, the Walter Group hotel we have an eye on in the western suburbs has been acquired. The senior management reported the situation cautiously. By whom? Justin immediately returned to his senses and focused on the matter at hand. KS Group. Walter Group transferred that hotel to them. In the future, it will be the second branch of KS World Hotel in Severo. Justin's body stiffened, and his eyes darkened. Why didn't you tell me sooner? We have been negotiating the acquisition and almost got a deal, but Thompson from KS World Hotel came out of nowhere and intercepted our project. It was truly unexpected. The senior management's face turned pale with fright. Almost got a deal. I think it's almost time for you to retire. There was no emotion in Justin's eyes. His deep voice was oppressive as he said, "What did I tell you before? That hotel is in a strategic location. It's only a 600-meter walk from Universal Studios, which will be built in 2 years. I wanted you to acquire it as soon as possible, even if we had to pay double. But you were so hesitant and timid. That's why the project was intercepted. Now, KS Group has benefited from this. How will you or your team bear this responsibility?" The senior manager lowered his head and wiped his sweat. His legs trembled under the table. "You'll be transferred to Fenn's branch next week. If you repeat this mistake, I won't care that you've worked here for a decade." After Justin finished speaking, he strode out the door, leaving everyone with stunned expressions on their faces. They felt as if they were walking on thin ice. Justin was angrier than usual today. Could it be revenge? See. On the way back to Tideview Manor, Ian glanced at the rearview mirror worriedly while driving. After M's Gold attacked young Madam, Mr. Thompson stopped all our project cooperation and exposed the Gold family's product issues. Could this all be Mr. Thompson's intentions? Although the Gold family deserves to be in this situation. Justin suddenly raised his eyes and looked sharply at the rearview mirror. Ian was so flustered that he almost choked. Stop at the tailor shop in front. Justin pushed open the door and walked into the tailor shop. His large build was almost as big as the door frame. The tailor was ironing clothes and looked surprised to see such a handsome man in his shop. Oh, it's you. Please do me a favor. Money is not an issue. Justin frowned slightly and opened the box in front of the tailor. Oh my goodness. How did this happen? How did such fine clothes end up like this? The tailor loved clothes so much that he felt distressed seeing such a wreckage. It's my fault. Justin felt a bitterness in his throat. That girl hand-stitched the suit. I watched her work so hard to complete it that I felt tired on her behalf, as if I had made the suit. The old tailor shook his head sadly. What a pity, such a waste of effort, it was a fine suit. Is there any way you can fix it? Justin asked hurriedly. How can I fix this? I can fix the lining that is damaged, but it's hard to fix the outer surface. Ads by Pub Future. Inexplicably, Justin's heart clenched after hearing this. Please try to fix it up as much as possible. I don't mind if there are marks. At least sew up the tears in the suit. As soon as Justin returned to Tideview Manor, he felt an oppressive air around him. Justin, Shannon's eldest daughter, Bethany, ran over anxiously. Grandpa is here. He's quarreling with Dad in the study upstairs. It's quite intense. Please go upstairs and try to appease him. Why are they quarreling? Justin cocked an eyebrow. Justin thought that Gregory liked to give the impression that he was a filial son. Nigel had high blood pressure and suffered a stroke, so he should not get too agitated. Gregory did not care about his long-standing reputation as a good son and got into a head-on conflict with Nigel. There was only one reason for Gregory to do that for Shannon. Rose is very close to our family. Now that her family is in trouble, it's only reasonable for Dad to help, right? Bethany was so angry that she stomped her feet. But Grandpa refused to allow Dad to help the Gold family. Do you think Grandpa is senile? Helping the Gold family is equivalent to helping our family, right? Justin, you are about to marry Rose. If this matter isn't resolved, our family will be disgraced. Justin's eyes were gloomy as he went upstairs. Ads by Pub Future. Clang. Nigel was sitting in a wheelchair in the study. He picked up the ashtray and teacup from the coffee table and threw them on the floor. The old man was almost 80 years old. But as he got older, his temper became more erratic. He would sweep things off the table at a hint of disagreement. Shannon wiped her tears with a silk handkerchief and huddled in Gregory's arms, crying. Gregory shielded her with his body. He was afraid that the glass fragments would cut her. Dad, will you calm down? Can't you just talk properly? I will only talk to you if you are being reasonable. You deserve a beating for doing such shitty things. Nigel was so angry that he thumped his chest. What did I tell you? I told you not to interfere in Gold Corporation's affairs. How dare you go against me? You bought their leftover products and even gave them some of our projects. How the hell did this woman brainwash you? Do you think I'm dead? Dad, how could you say that? Gregory was furious, but he dared not say anything else. Am I wrong? Ever since you married this woman, your mind has been muddled. Nigel slapped the armrest. Dad, I know that you look down on me, but I have been with Greg for more than 20 years now. I'm a dutiful wife and mother, and I serve the Salvador family wholeheartedly. I'm cautious and respectful. Closing curly bracket closing parenthesis. Shannon cried and continued, I have never disobeyed you, and I have never caused any trouble to the Salvador family. I know it's a blessing that I get to marry Greg, so I dare not ask for anything else. Gregory glanced lovingly at his beloved wife in his arms. Nigel was immune to her hypocritical attitude. He was so furious that he shook in anger. Shannon said, but my sister's family is innocent. They do honest business, and it's really unfair that they are being slandered for no reason this time. Moreover, Rose is about to marry Justin. Honest business. They're profiteers. Nigel sneered. Shannon's expression froze. I am not senile. Even though I am retired, I still know what's going on. The Gold family brought this upon themselves because they're not doing honest business. You don't need to use Justin as an excuse either. If he marries that woman, I won't acknowledge him as my grandson. You all can move out. If I die one day, I don't need you all to be at my funeral. Dad, Gregory sighed. Shannon sobbed, but her eyes were extremely sinister. She thought, I've had enough of this old troll. I've been suppressed for more than 20 years. I wish he'd just die a horrible death. Grandpa, ads by Pub Future. Justin strode in and hurriedly reached out to soothe Nigel's back. But Nigel pushed him away. You don't need to pretend. You are just like your father, brainwashed and used by that family of shrews. I won't help the Gold family. I have already made my stance clear. Justin's eyes were particularly calm. Nigel's eyes suddenly lit up. Really? Yes, Gold Corporation is at fault, so I won't help them. What about you and that woman? It has nothing to do with Rose. Our wedding will proceed as usual. Justin's eyes were indifferent. HMPH. Forget it. At least you're self-aware, much better than your stupid father. Nigel waved his hand disapprovingly. Nigel did not understand what was wrong with his grandson. Why did Justin divorce Anna just to marry that slut? Aunt Shannon. Justin looked at Shannon and said in a deep voice, I understand that you want to help the Gold family because Mrs. Gold is your biological sister. But you can only help them if it doesn't harm the interests of Salvador Corporation. Otherwise, don't you think that you are being contrary to what you advocated to serve the Salvador family wholeheartedly? Shannon was rendered speechless. Her face turned red. Ads by Pub Future. She thought, this bastard. He's been unfeeling since he was a kid, and now he's so ruthless. Although Rose is my fiancée, I know my stance. I never mix my personal feelings with work matters. Dad, as the chairman, you should always put the interests of the company first. Justin looked at Gregory. Justin was unemotional and professional. He did not care that Gregory was his father. Gregory's face darkened. He knew that he was in the wrong. So he said, I'm not helping the Gold family because of Shannon. I just came back from attending a summit in Inalia. I was supposed to meet a partner for a big foreign project, but he suddenly cancelled the meeting. Later, I learned that Asher Thompson, the CEO of KS Group, intercepted him. I don't know what benefits Asher promised him, but he decided not to cooperate with our company anymore. Everything that happened to us is related to the Thompson family. It's obvious that they are targeting us. I won't let them get their way and ride over our heads. That happened. Nigel's eyes darkened. The Salvador family in Severo and the Thompson family in Hatch Bay were bitter rivals for hundreds of years. Old Mrs. Thompson even said that she would not allow her descendants to marry anyone from the Salvador family. The Thompson family were also formidable business rivals to the Salvador family. It was clear that Asher wanted revenge when he intercepted Salvador Corporation's hotel project and this project abroad. Wait a second. Justin was startled. He asked, Dad, did you just say that you met Asher in Inalia? Yes. Today. Yeah. How was that possible? Asher went to the hospital to pick up Anna this afternoon. How did he have a clone in Inalia? Was the man Justin saw in the afternoon not Asher? If he was not Asher, then who was he? In the end, Gregory swore in front of Nigel that he would not interfere in the Gold family's affairs to appease the old man. Gregory and Shannon left, feeling dejected, while Nigel looked at the mess in the study with anger in his eyes. Ugh, those sly women got you and your father wrapped around their fingers. Justin bent down to pick up the glass shards on the floor. His mind was churning rapidly. Did someone go to Inalia on behalf of Asher? But Dad recognizes Asher. He won't be mistaken, because they have met many times before. Or does Dad have Alzheimer's? At this time, Justin picked up a folding fan. Grandpa, is this yours? Oh no, I was so mad that I almost broke it. Bring it to me now. Closing parenthesis. Nigel's eyes softened as he continued, Anna made this fan for me. The painting in calligraphy on. Here are her creations. Justin did not know that Anna knew how to paint or write calligraphy. He froze and did not know how to react. Ads by Pub Future. When Anna was married to him, he found her boring and obedient. Compared to Rosalind, who could play the piano, dance, and sing, Anna was a dull woman. Apart from being sweet, gentle, and pretty, Anna was just like the servants at home. Justin did not think any differently about her. However, after she left him, she shone like a diamond that had been newly polished. She was talented and confident. He was startled to learn that she had all those skills. Was it because she thought that Justin did not deserve such a good version of her, and only Asher did? So, what she felt for Justin was not considered love. She was just being a dutiful wife, trying her best to please him. The person she truly loved was Asher, right? Anna used to visit me every weekend. Sometimes she would go for a walk with me or just sit with me in the study for an entire afternoon. That child didn't feel bored around me. She would just read a book and write calligraphy next to me. She's very skilled in calligraphy and painting. I can tell from the way she holds the brush and pen that she has been practicing for at least 10 years. Her handwriting is really beautiful. It flows naturally, and it shows just how confident she is. She's clearly a cultured person with a good upbringing. Nigel pursed his lips and sighed. Anna is so much better than that pretentious girl from the Gold family. It's a pity that you're so blind and ignorant. Justin pressed his thin lips into a straight line and opened the folding fan. He saw 2 lines of elegant handwriting. Have no regrets for your past mistakes. For it is not possible to turn back the clock. Suddenly, Justin's heart trembled. He felt like he had been struck by lightning. His sharp eyes scanned these 2 lines of words as he brought the fan closer to his face. This handwriting was the same as the calligraphy hanging in Bella Thompson's office. She even offered to give it to him as a gift. Justin suddenly remembered meeting Anna at the KS World Hotel, where Bella was in charge. He thought back to the sound of Anna's footsteps in the corridor after he left Bella's office that day. Did Anna know Bella? Ads by Pub Future. Could there be such a coincidence? It was not possible that Bella was Anna, right? How could that be? Anna could not have been as cunning and insidious as Bella, right? On the other side, in Yarra Park, Hatch Bay, Asher came back from his business trip in Inalia. He and Axel had dinner with Wyatt. During the dinner, Asher reported on the progress of his trip to Inalia. Wyatt nodded with a look of approval on his aloof and dignified face. Wyatt thought, my eldest son is truly outstanding in all aspects. But he insists on being with Jesus. No amount of power, fame, wealth or shares can stop him from becoming a pastor. Why is he so insistent on being a pastor? Asher, it isn't like you to snatch a project from Salvador Corporation so rashly. Wyatt took a sip of red wine and thought about it. Aren't you always advocating peace and love to solve problems? Why are you resorting to stealing now? You were a bit like me when I was young. Peace is a fragile thing. Asher gave a rather indirect answer and raised his glass elegantly to take a sip of water. Axel smiled. Of course, he knew that Asher was just getting revenge on Salvador Corporation on Bella's behalf. Doing business is all about quick thinking. As long as you don't break the law, you can do whatever it takes to close the deal. You did a good job this time. Wyatt patted Asher on the shoulder. His eyes were sharp and excited. What's more, Gregory and I are sworn enemies. His grandfather bullied my grandmother. HMPH. It's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. Asher was speechless. Axel snickered and thought to himself, wow. I guess we are not just inheriting the family fortune. We are also expected to carry on the past grudges against the Salvadors. By the way, how's Bella holding up in Severo recently? She's very determined to go against the Gold Corporation. But if she doesn't handle it properly, I'm afraid that others will resent her, and she'll get into trouble. Since Declan and Drew aren't home, you two have to protect her at all times. Do you hear me? Wyatt's tone was stern, and his eyes were filled with concern for Bella. All right, Dad. Don't worry, Dad. The 4 of us will kill whoever dares to bully my little sister. You don't have to kill them. Just make them wish that they're dead. Wyatt narrowed his eagle eyes and gracefully took another sip of wine. At the end of dinner, Wyatt and Asher left. Before they left, Axel saw Asher's phone vibrating on the table. The caller ID showed that it was Justin calling. Axel got up, looked around, cleared his throat, and answered the call. Do you need something, Mr. Salvador? I'm looking for Anna Brown. Justin's presumptuous tone made Axel furious. Justin, you must be sick in the head. Why should Anna answer your call? Justin was silent for a moment. Suddenly, he asked in a deep voice, Are you Asher? Ads by Pub Future. Axel thought that Justin must have realized something, but he said willfully, Mr. Salvador, if you're drunk and bored, you can call your fiancé. I don't have time to talk to you. Asher, if you want to vent your anger on Anna's behalf, you should do it plainly instead of playing underhanded tricks. Justin's voice was bone-chilling and menacing. Justin, don't think so highly of yourself. Axel was so angry that he gritted his teeth and said, Who started it first? Don't you know who used despicable means to slander Anna? If you want to plead for your fiancé's family, then beg me. Don't act all high and mighty, pretentious bastard. On the other end of the call, Justin clenched his fists. His cheeks were flushed. Justin had always been a great speaker at countless business summits, but at this moment, he was rendered speechless. That was because Axel was a senior prosecutor who had a way with words. But I can be frank with you. Even if you kneel in front of me and beg me now, I won't let you off the hook. I will make all of you who bullied Anna pay a hefty price. After speaking, Axel decisively ended the call. Justin was sitting in the study. He looked at the blacked-out screen and clenched his phone so tightly that his screen almost cracked. The veins on his forehead were throbbing. Mr. Salvador. Ian walked in hurriedly. When he saw his boss's gloomy face, he kept his breathing light. What? I followed your instructions and found out that Wyatt Thompson's first wife gave birth to 5 children. Except for their eldest son, Asher, I couldn't find out anything about the other 4 children because all their files were highly encrypted. We couldn't decrypt it no matter what. Justin suddenly raised his eyebrows. His gloomy face turned menacing. Ads by Pub Future. Ian's face turned pale. He gulped and added, Should I go to the Human Resources Department to settle my salary tomorrow? Oh, asterisk. Bella had just taken a bubble bath. She put on a mask and a snow-white bathrobe, then walked gracefully down the stairs to look for a drink. Bella, you are injured. Just tell me what you need, and I'll get it for you. Stephen hurriedly came up to her with concern plastered all over his handsome face. I can still walk to the wine cellar to get a bottle of red wine. It's already past 9 p.m. Why are you still wearing a suit and tie? Bella looked at him and blinked her almond-shaped eyes. From now on, just make yourself at home when you're here. Don't be a stranger. You can change into loungewear when you are at home. Seeing you dressed like this, I just feel like I'm at work 24 hours a day. It stresses me out. Another reason was that she would be reminded of Justin. It was embarrassing that she had only seen her husband's body once over 3 years of marriage. Justin was an ascetic. When he returned to Tideview Manor, he would stay in the study and rarely come out. He would only take off his suit and put on his dark blue pajamas before going to bed. He was elegant, noble, and frustratingly reserved. However, only Bella knew that under his cold and emotionless facade was a warm and passionate soul. Bella. Stephen tilted his head and called out to her. Yes. Bella came back to her senses. Her cheeks were flushed, and her clear eyes were teary. Your face is so red. Is it red? Bella raised her right hand and touched her cheek, which was really warm. She quickly turned away shyly. It's probably the wine. Weren't you on the way to the wine cellar? Your face was red even before you drank. Stephen pursued this topic. Stephen was book smart and capable, but he was naive. He did not notice Bella was imagining some racy thoughts earlier. Ugh, shut up. Bella rolled her eyes cutely and walked away. Stephen looked aggrieved. He did not know how he had offended Bella, so he immediately followed her like a puppy. Bella and Stephen went to the wine cellar, which contained nearly 1,000 bottles of red wine that Asher had curated for Bella. That was because he knew that Bella liked to drink during her spare time. Each bottle of wine on the rack was expensive, and many of them were collector's items bought from auctions. Wyatt did not even own some of these rare wines, but Bella had dozens of bottles. If she sold these bottles, she could buy several. Bella leisurely browsed around the wine racks and set her eyes on a bottle of Romani Conti. She stood on tiptoes to get it, but it was still a little out of reach. Ads by Pub Future. At this time, Stephen walked up behind her. His tall frame towered over Bella as he helped her take down the wine bottle. The two of them were so close that Stephen could smell Bella's sweet scent. His heart was beating wildly, and his fair face was tinted with a faint blush. Here you go, Ems. Bella. TSK, it's nice to have a secretary who is 1.85 meters tall. There's no need for ladders. However, Bella thought that a man's ideal height should be 1.89 meters, like Justin. Stephen was just 4 cm shorter. She thought, damn it. I shouldn't think about that jerk. It's worse than drinking. Ems. Bella, let me open the bottle for you. It's not convenient for you with one hand. Crack. Without saying a word, Bella slammed her cast against the corner of the table and cracked it, revealing her fair and smooth forearm. Ugh, this is so cumbersome. I've wanted to take it off for a long time. Stephen was dumbfounded. Ads by Pub Future. When I was on the battlefield, fractures and dislocations were nothing. I once saw someone lose his leg from a bomb blast. The soldier who was just joking with me that morning was brought back in the afternoon with more than a dozen bullet holes in his body and half of his face missing. Bella described the cruelty of war with such calmness. Stephen was startled. He could not imagine how the pampered young lady had survived through the war all those years. While Stephen let the wine breathe, the Thompson family secret bureau group chat became active again. Drew, Axel, I understand that Asher is busy with work as a CEO. But you're just a public servant working in the judicial department. How are you so dim-witted? Drew, do you know that Justin Salvador sent someone to secretly decrypt our files? Drew, thanks to my timely response, I encrypted the file with the strongest encryption. That jerk can't defeat me. Bella was startled. Her eyes widened immediately. Axel, damn it, did he suspect something? Axel, wait, why are you being so disrespectful to me? I'm your older brother. Drew, no, you were born just a few minutes earlier than me. Drew, if I were the one who came out of mom's womb first, you'd be calling me big brother. Axel, even if I was born 1 second ahead of you, I'm still older. Show me some respect. Drew, no, Axel, you stubborn fool. I'll beat you up. Drew, you want to fight me? Bring it on. You won't be able to beat me even if I give you a head start. Bella, that's enough. You guys are being so childish. As soon as Bella messaged the group, the two brothers immediately behaved themselves. Bella, Justin is investigating us because he's probably suspicious of Axel's identity. Axel defended me twice, and Justin probably noticed that Asher wouldn't act like that. Bella's bright eyes dimmed as she swayed the red wine in the glass. Bella, in that case, there's no need to hide it anymore. I'll give him the answer. In the blink of an eye, the weekend arrived. Under the public's pressure, Gold Corporation decided to hold a press conference in a 5-star hotel and invited many reporters. Gold Corporation was a local small enterprise that did not have much influence in the industry. However, the Gold family jumped into the public eye overnight and received unprecedented attention because Rosalind announced her marriage to Justin. At this moment, a black Maybach was parked on the roadside opposite the hotel's entrance. Ads by Pub Future. Justin watched the live broadcast of the press conference through his iPad. Mr. Salvador, I think that the chairman has been trying to hint at you to help the Gold family for the past few days. Ian said worriedly, if you continue fighting against the chairman, will it affect your relationship with him? I'm afraid that Madam Shannon will take the opportunity to defame you again. I don't care if she does. I won't help the Gold family. Justin looked indifferent as he continued, my father and I don't have much of a relationship to begin with, so it doesn't affect anything. Ian breathed a sigh of relief. Justin had made his stance clear. He had always been isolated in the Salvador family, and he had no one to share his emotions with. Soon, the press conference began. Under everyone's gaze, Zeke walked onto the stage in a black suit. He looked haughty with his chin raised. He felt indignant that he had to hold this press conference. As you all know, Gold Corporation has 32 Alia furniture stores in Severo and more than 400 stores across the country. We have always had a good reputation in the industry. This kind of negative news happened because someone maliciously spread rumors to smear our brand image. Ads by Pub Future. Ian looked at the screen and scoffed. Mr. Gold is really something. He can still look so confident even though his products have serious quality issues. How thick-skinned. Justin said nothing. His eyebrows furrowed tightly. But KS World Hotel was the first to expose Alia Furniture's quality issues. Everyone knows their reputation. They haven't defamed or smeared another company's image in the past decades that they were in operation, so I think the problem with Alia Furniture isn't just a smear campaign, right? A reporter suddenly asked with a derisive tone. Zeke's face darkened instantly. Alia Furniture has been established for more than 10 years. I am anxious and heartbroken that something like this has happened for the first time. So, do you admit that there is a quality issue with your products? If I remember correctly, a serious complaint was lodged at the beginning of last year. I think everyone here probably has an impression of the incident. The reporter's statement jogged everyone's memories. Zeke's face turned gloomier as he clenched his fists in anger. In the underground parking lot, Bella was sitting in a supercar, watching the live broadcast on her phone. She curled her red lips in satisfaction. No one would have guessed that Bella had arranged for that reporter to join the press conference with loaded questions. In the 2 years since Zeke took office as Gold Corporation's president, he has done whatever he wanted without qualms and squandered his wealth. Their company has had frequent problems, and his family fortune is running dry. Steven let out a contemptuous laugh. I didn't expect him to be so bold to blatantly lie at the press conference. He thinks that no one has anything on him, huh? He thought that he had a trump card. That's why he dares to speak nonsense. Bella narrowed her eyes, looking shrewd. She took out a piece of chocolate from Steven's suit pocket, opened the tin foil, broke off a small piece, and put it in her mouth. Just watch. If we force his hand a little, he'll show his trump card. Then our chance will come. After Bella finished eating the chocolate, she playfully put the remaining half of the chocolate bar into Steven's suit pocket and patted his chest. You're pretty fit. Steven's heart skipped a beat. His cheeks were warm, and his mouth was dry because she teased him. Steven was 4 years older than Bella. Back then, Steven's father was the head of KS Group's legal department and had always been highly regarded by Wyatt. So Steven often visited Yarra Park when he was a teenager. Steven still remembered the first time he met Bella in the back garden of Yarra Park. He saw a beautiful little girl decked out in a costume, prancing from afar. He thought that he was hallucinating, so he rubbed his eyes. But that little angel flew to him. She was wearing a pure white angel costume, and she looked ethereal. Hey, do you have any candy? Bella got off her skateboard, stepped on the edge of it, and grabbed onto it in one smooth motion. Steven panicked. He secretly cursed himself for having impure thoughts about a little girl. But that girl was stunning. She looked like a goddess. Anyone who looked at her would be fascinated by her. Never mind. Bella sighed in disappointment, put down her skateboard, and was about to leave, but Steven grabbed her arm. Ads by Pub Future. Her arm was so thin that his fingers could encircle it. Wait. Steven pursed his lips, took out a piece of chocolate from his pocket, and handed it to her. Is this okay? Yes. Thank you so much. Bella smiled broadly, took the chocolate, opened the wrapper, and took a bite. Her charming eyes squinted in joy. From then on, every time Steven went to Yarra Park, he always brought chocolates or candies with him, just like a mobile snack cart. He kept up this habit until today. As long as Bella wanted something sweet, she would go to him. The press conference was intense. Zeke was agitated. He stared at the reporter and said angrily, I will say it again for the last time. There are no quality issues with Gold Corporation's products. I swear on my life. Since it's not a quality issue, why did KS Group hotels across the country cancel all of their orders with your company overnight? Mr. Gold, you ought to give the public a reasonable explanation for this matter. The reporter's eyes were sharp, and he refused to drop this topic. The comments on the live broadcast were incessant. Ads by Pub Future. He swears on his life, It seems like he's telling the truth if he's so serious about it. Perhaps his life isn't worth a penny. Anyway, I will still return those products regardless of the quality issue. Just look at his pesky and haughty face. Whoever is in their PR department should find a better speaker. You want an explanation, Fine. I'll give you an explanation. Zeke's eyes suddenly became sinister. I've reflected on myself because of this incident, and it is indeed negligence in my management. After all, there are hundreds of Alia furniture stores across the country, and I can't possibly check them all. A few of my employees harmed the interests of my company due to their own selfish desires. I have already dealt with the people involved and punished them seriously as soon as I found out. I have also thought of all possible ways to make amends. But as the saying goes, it takes two to tango. If it hadn't been for someone in KS Group bribing my staff, would things have turned out this way? KS Group now wants to put all the blame on my company. Don't you all think that it's overboard? Everyone was shocked to hear this. Zeke can really lie without a conscience. How could he pin the blame on KS Group? How shameless. Ian looked at Zeke's shameless face and began to feel sorry for the Thompson family. Justin's eyes were gloomy and sharp as knives. Expose the evidence I collected, Zeke ordered. In an instant, a photo and bank statement appeared on the projector. These are the chat records between Michael Gordon, the vice president of Sevros KS World Hotel, and the general manager of Alia Furniture. There are also photos of private meetups and evidence of the kickbacks and bribes Michael received. All this has nothing to do with the Gold Corporation. Michael, a senior executive of KS World Hotel, secretly colluded with my employees to purchase cheap products. That was why this ruckus happened. My family is the victim here. KS Group tried to protect themselves by dragging us into the quagmire. How could a big conglomerate like them bully small enterprises like us? We must protect our rights and interests by using the law against them. Zeke became more enthusiastic. His face was flushed, and he was also convinced by his speech. He thought, that Thompson bitch never would have seen this coming, right? I bet she's dumbfounded. Michael was the lamb he had planned to sacrifice early on. Thus, Zeke had left traces and collected evidence from the very beginning of their interaction, waiting to use it at a critical moment to make a thorough comeback. Ian clenched his fists. It's over. All of a sudden, the public is criticizing KS Group again, saying that they're monopolizing the market and not allowing small enterprises to survive. Justin frowned. His face became frigid. Just as Zeke was getting carried away, the speakers in the banquet hall screeched. Two men's voices blared on the speaker in the banquet hall. Mr. Gold, if I wasn't trying to make money for you, why would I replace a good quality mattress with something so shoddy? That brat of a new manager found out and even fired me for it. Now I can't even find a job in Sevro. You must help me. Don't say that it's all for me. Didn't you also make a lot of money from this? The kickbacks I gave you weren't a small sum. Even if you don't work for the rest of your life, you won't starve to death. One of the voices was Michael's, and the latter one was clearly Zeke's. The reporters were excited by this shocking news. Zeke gripped the edge of the table, sweating profusely. His legs almost gave out. What is this? Who played this? Turn it off now. The speakers were turned off, but some pictures appeared on the projector. It was a slideshow of Michael and Zeke entering and leaving the nightclub. Mr. Gold, this is different from what you promised me. You said you would protect me. I am protecting you. Now that this has gotten out, I haven't admitted anything or pushed you out to take the blame. Michael, nothing will happen to you if you just keep your mouth shut. If you dare talk nonsense, I will make sure that you suffer. There were photos and recordings of their dealings. These were conclusive pieces of evidence. The flashing lights in the banquet hall were overwhelming. Zeke yelled, red-faced. This is all fake. It's all fake. That's not me in the recording. Someone framed me. At this moment, there was a loud bang. The door to the banquet hall was pushed open. 2 rows of men in suits with red badges on their chests entered the hall and lined up on both sides. Ads by Pub Future. The sound of expensive leather shoes against the floor and a pair of masculine long legs instantly attracted everyone's attention. Axel's handsome face was stern as he led 2 rows of investigators to Zeke. Zeke Gold, president of Gold Corporation, you are under arrest for bribery and malfeasance. The evidence is conclusive, and KS Group has officially lodged a report. Please come with us to assist in the investigation. Nonsense. I didn't do anything. It's not me. 2 investigators stepped forward to subdue Zeke, who was struggling like crazy. They dragged him out of the banquet hall. All the cameras were focused on Zeke, and the internet went wild. This dramatic scene was on live broadcast, and the tables had turned. What a shocking reversal. This press conference is more exciting than a TV show. It turns out that KS Group is the victim. Zeke Gold is so shameless as to paint himself as the victim. People were criticizing KS Group for no reason. Zeke's words really mean nothing. How revolting. This is so exciting. Who released this evidence? What a timely appearance. Ian clapped his hands happily. This time, the Gold family won't be able to get away with it. They can't cause trouble anymore. This is a setup. Justin's thin lips parted slightly. His face remained indifferent. Ads by Pub Future. KS Group was sure that Zeke would put all the blame on Michael, so they asked the reporter to ask those questions to provoke him. That was why Zeke used Michael as a scapegoat. Then they gave him a fatal blow by releasing concrete evidence of Zeke and Michael's collusion. You mean, that reporter was hired by KS Group? Ian was very shocked to hear this. It's possible that KS Group arranged for this prosecutor to step in at this time. Justin's face was cold. His eyes were bottomless and emotionless as he watched Rosalind's brother get arrested. Justin did not think that Zeke should have pointed his finger at KS Group. However, when Zeke started to put all the blame on KS Group, Justin's compassion for him disappeared completely. Zeke was taken away. The investigators retreated and walked out the door. The camera panned to Axel, who looked righteous and solemn. Another frenzy was set off in the comments section of the live broadcast. Wow, this prosecutor is so good looking. He's like a Greek god. I love that such a handsome man chooses to defend justice and the law even though he's certainly fit to become a movie star. Justin's pupils shrank. He suddenly leaned forward to stare closely at Axel's face on the screen. He thought, it's him. That's the guy from the bar and the hospital. That's the man who confronted me. How is he so close to Anna? He also looks just like Asher Thompson. Who the hell is he? Justin took a screenshot and uploaded Axel's photo into the face recognition app that he developed for a high-precision search. 10 minutes later, the results appeared. It read, Prosecutor Axel Thompson of the Severo Public Prosecutor's Office. Axel's photo was found on the Supreme Court's official website 3 years ago. In the picture, Axel was wearing a ceremonial robe as he stood righteously in court, debating passionately. With the software that Justin developed, he could search for someone's information within 3 to 5 minutes by uploading a picture. It was much faster and more accurate than regular search engines. However, the search for Axel took a full 10 minutes. This showed that Axel did not appear in the public eye often and did not upload photos of himself on social media. If Axel was just a prosecutor, why was he so mysterious? Asher Thompson, Axel Thompson. Justin thought about it for a moment. Suddenly, he had an epiphany. His eyes widened in shock. Could he be? Great. Justin narrowed his eyes. It looked like a storm was brewing on his face. His throat felt so constricted that he found it difficult to breathe. Anna Brown, how can you be such a player after leaving me? You went to Asher right after signing the divorce papers, and now you have such an illicit relationship with his brother. Who do you think you are? At this time, the roar of the sports car came from behind. Justin was pulled out of his thoughts. He looked out the window. The black sports car sped past him like a blur. That was Anna's car. Ads by Pub Future. Why did she suddenly show up here? Something seems fishy. Justin felt his heart thumping as he punched the car window. Ian, chase after that car. The reporters gathered at the hotel entrance while the investigators tried their best to get the disgraced Zeke into the car. The press conference ended just like that. Axel did not follow the investigators. Instead, he went to the back door and waited patiently for his sister to pick him up. A few minutes later, a Bugatti La Voiture Nava stopped in front of Axel. Steven lowered the window and greeted Axel politely. Hello, Mr. Axel. Hey, Steve. Axel bent down and looked at Bella, who was sitting languidly in the passenger seat. He smiled endearingly and reached out to pinch his sister's soft cheek. It looks like Steve is taking really good care of you these days. Your cheeks are getting a bit chubby. No, they're not. Bella pouted angrily. Yes, they are. You are even cuter when you have chubby cheeks. Haha. Axel said that Bella was chubby as soon as he saw her. How tactless. No wonder he was single for 30 years. Justin, who was hiding in the shadows, saw the scene and thought that Bella and Axel were flirting with each other. His handsome face turned dark. He clenched his fist so hard that his knuckles turned white. Ads by Pub Future. Ian glanced at the rearview mirror apprehensively and shook in fear. He thought to himself, well, it's normal for the young madam to be sought after by so many men. She's such an outstanding and beautiful lady. Only my boss is blind enough to miss out on a treasure like her. How was it? Don't you think I look so cool today? Axel raised his eyebrows smugly as he fished for compliments from his sister. Yes, you were so cool. You certainly gained a lot of fans this time. All those girls online are looking for information about you. You've made the top search. Bella propped her arms on the car window and looked up at Axel with admiration. She looked so lively and girlish. Justin stared at his ex-wife for a moment with mixed emotions. For some reason, he wanted to stand in Axel's position at this moment so that she could look at him. Like that, he wanted to see her beautiful eyes and playful gaze. He noticed that she had never smiled like that at him. TSK. So what if the whole world worships me? I just want my baby sister to worship me. That's enough for me. Axel preened. PFT. I am getting goosebumps. Axel, you can't play the devoted brother. You're better off playing the cool brother. Haha. The Thompson siblings joked and circled back to the main topic. Axel, I probably need to trouble you later for the next steps. Bella raised her eyebrows and added, don't let that asshole get away with a light sentence. Don't worry, he will be punished for all his crimes. It'll be at least 3 years in jail. I won't give him a chance to reduce his sentence or let him out on bail. Axel looked at her approvingly. But you've done a good job, baby sis. You're so good at predicting when Zeke will fall into your trap. He's such a cooperative prey. If only all bad guys could fall into traps so easily, us judicial officers would have saved a lot of trouble. Indeed, Zeke was so stupid that Bella felt bad for him. The reason KS Group could successfully sue Zeke was because Michael was finally willing to come forward as a witness and confess what Zeke had done. Zeke had used Michael to make illicit money from the hotel in the past 2 years.